Hi guys, and welcome to Scott's channel. I'm Valerie. So for those of you who don't know, I just kind of want to hop on here and give a little bit of an update on what's happened and what is happening and what's going to happen. So basically, a year and a half ago, I was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. I haven't been in one of his videos for approximately 2 years. I think the last video I was in was the Christmas tree video. And if you go back and watch that one, you'll probably notice I had a pretty nasty cough. That cough I had at the time for I think roughly about a year. But it was kind of like an on and off again cough, so I didn't really think much of it. But it turns out that was one of my symptoms. So every year we go to our friend's butcher shop and we volunteer there every rifle season. And I had noticed I lost a bunch of weight in 2017 rifle season, which was 3 months before I went to the doctor. We're so busy when we're there for those few weeks that I didn't think much of it, but I knew something was going on. So I actually started passing out there, and from just getting too dizzy, and I lost a ton of weight. Like I said, I had that cough that you guys probably heard in other videos, and it didn't feel right. So for those of you that don't know, end of November here in Wisconsin is rifle season. So fast forward to January, I still had all those symptoms going on, night sweats, and like I said, the weight loss, a nasty cough that just would not go away. It was just getting worse. And just multiple other symptoms. My stomach felt like it was extended, although I was pretty small. My stomach at the top was like bloated looking. So I was in the shower one day and I had noticed that I had a lump on my chest right here. And I didn't think too much of it, but I googled my symptoms, which is not what you're supposed to do, but I did. And it came up that it could be a lymphoma. So I made a doctor's appointment and they scheduled a ultrasound for me, which I did go to, and it came back that it was a lymph node. But just having one lymph node show up on just an ultrasound doesn't give you very many answers. So they wanted to do a CT scan. So a CT scan kind of just gives you an overview of everything. It shows you the size of everything in your body, but it doesn't show you active cells like a PET scan does. So on the CT scan, I went and got that done, and it came back that I had lymph nodes all in my chest, my stomach, my pelvis, and I had lesions in my liver and spleen. Now, we're not talking little lesions in my liver and spleen. I had lesions, just over 30 of them, just on my liver. And some of them were as large as softballs on my liver and spleen. So, I mean, that would explain why my stomach was extended. It was pretty big tumors in there. So, a doctor came in and basically just told me that I had cancer and it had already spread to my liver and spleen, but they weren't sure what type of cancer. They suspected a lymphoma, but at that point, there's no biopsy done, so we couldn't just say you had it. So that was the next step, was doing a biopsy. So I went in for a needle biopsy for the lymph node. And with lymphomas, there's two different types of lymphomas. There's a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and then there's Hodgkin's. Non-Hodgkin's is more rare for my age group. At the time, I was only 26. And then there's Hodgkin's lymphoma. And so it's really hard to detect Hodgkin's on a needle biopsy. You need a bigger sample of tissue. So I went in for a needle biopsy. I was awake the whole time. Scott was with me. Our son was in school. It's an easy procedure. They just numb you up, take a needle in there, and pull out some samples. It's not bad. So we went and did that, and we had to wait for the results. It was about a week, and the results came back negative for non-Hodgkin's, and they could not rule out Hodgkin's because they didn't have enough tissue to sample, which means I had to go in for a bigger surgery, which leads up to the scar. If you guys can see that. So I went in for the surgery, and my surgeon actually had to call in a cardiovascular surgeon to help because of all my main arteries right there and everything in case something had happened. Never had surgery before. I've only ever had my wisdom teeth taken out, so it was pretty scary. But little did I know I'd have more. So, went in, got my surgery done. A week later, got my results back. Came back positive for Hodgkin's. And basically, then it was just getting a game plan together, We were upset. I was really scared. I have a young son at home and everything, but I knew that, I had to get through this. I have to. There's really no choice. You just get in fight mode and you do it. So basically, the next step after my surgery and finding out what it was and everything was meeting with my oncologist. And we did all that. And then the next step was getting a port, which I have on this side, which is a matching scar to my other one. So I call them my wings. So I got my port installed, still there. And then it was starting chemo, just figuring out a plan, what's the cure rate, figuring everything out. And basically, hold on, Scott, turn off the TV. He's listening to me. Hang on. Okay. So basically, my plan was 6 months of chemotherapy. It would go in through my port, and it was 12 treatments, which would be every other week for 6 months. So, it's pretty intense treatment. Every other week, there's not much downtime to rest, really, especially when we're running a farm, and I have a young son, and half my treatments were through summer. So I didn't have time to rest because, of course, I have a son to take care of, a farm to run. We always do a huge garden every year, too, so that was kind of like a little bit of a worry of mine, was keeping up with all that. So started chemo. I was told I'd lose my hair and everything. As you can see, I never lost my hair last year. The doctors don't know why either. We don't know why. Basically, everybody we know on that treatment has lost their hair. Somehow I stuck it out. But I had my first scan after 4 treatments, which would be 8 weeks of treatments. And it came back that everything was clean. It was completely gone. All those huge tumors, everything. And I lit up like a Christmas tree. So on my scan that was clean, it was very, very good to hear. But I couldn't just stop at 4 treatments. I had to do the rest of those 8. So I finished up all my treatments, and that was September 19th of last year, 2018, right before my birthday. And finished chemo, was in remission, everything was going good. I got my scan in December, which was 3 months after chemo. It was clean. Another scan in March of this year. It was clean. And then I go in June of this year, because I would get scanned every 3 months because I was stage 4. They wanted to watch me close. One for my scan in June. And basically leading up to the scan, I figured everything was good. I mean, we're a very active family. We were hiking every weekend. We were riding our 4-wheelers. We were swimming, jet skiing. I mean, we're outside every single day. We're very active people, and we're very outdoorsy, and I never had any symptoms, nothing. My blood work was always coming back good. So I thought for sure when I went in June for the scan, everything would be good. But it turns out that scan came back that I had something in my chest. A lymph node in my chest was enlarged, not much. They weren't very concerned with it, but he told me we could either wait 3 months and do another scan, or we could do a PET scan. Now, the difference in a CT scan and a PET scan, a CT scan basically shows you the size of things in your body. It doesn't show you what's active. That's when you go to a PET scan, and it's kind of like opening up a motor and seeing what everything is inside of there. That's what a PET scan does. So a PET scan will make all your active cells light up. So like your heart will light up, your bladder, your stomach, whatever's active in there will light up. Well, it showed that originally what he saw on my CT scan in my chest / June, that was nothing. They had actually found a couple different lymph nodes down by my kidneys and my liver, and those had lit up. They weren't very enlarged, but they lit up. They had uptake in them. So, of course, I'm like, there's no way I relapsed. Everything was going great. I actually got accepted into our local mid-state college for nursing school. I'm going to be going to school to become a I don't know if I either want to be a critical care nurse or a ER nurse, but I got accepted into everything. You know, I was excited. Summer was here. Our son's home. We had so many adventures planned for our summer, and then this comes up. So basically, I was told, you know, we're gonna have to do surgery and see what this is again. You know, it could be nothing. It could be the lymphoma. I was told if it's the lymphoma again, it's an easy fix. So I thought maybe just like radiation, a couple chemo treatments, whatever. I've been through worse. I can get through this, right? So I had surgery again, and this time they went through my back, behind my ribs, kind of. And I was actually awake for this surgery, and the doctor actually ended up poking a hole through my chest cavity during surgery, and that was not fun at all. But got the results back of that, and it came back that they couldn't tell what it was because there wasn't enough cells, because again, the lymph nodes were really small, so there's not enough sample to get cells. So I was told during this next surgery that he was going to go through my liver and I would be awake. So I was not happy to hear that, you know. Again, summertime, just want to enjoy our summer. I thought all of this was past us and everything, and here we are again doing it all over again. What do you do? So I was awake for my surgery when they went through my liver with a needle. Very, very, very uncomfortable. Do not recommend that. And had to wait for the results again, and went to my oncologist office, and Scott was with me. Our son Aiden was in school. My mom was with. Basically, doctor walked in and said I had cancer again. So when you hear you have cancer the first time, it's kind of like getting hit by like a bus, you know, like just taken back by it. But when you hear you have cancer for the second time, it was like being hit by like a train, a very, very large train. It sucked, but I knew that I have to do this. I have to get through this. Supposed to be starting school. I have a young son. You know, it's not an option to not get through this. So basically, my treatment plan is, I was told, I'm on chemo now, as some of you know, to do, was it 2 to 6 treatments of this? It's a targeted therapy chemo. So basically that means, instead of the chemo like last year, it just takes out your whole immune system. This chemo only goes after the cancer cells. I can still get neutropenic and low blood counts and everything on it, which so far my blood work has actually been really good. But so we started the chemo back in August. Had my first treatment, and last year I handled the chemo really, really good. Like, even the doctors were so impressed with me. I was impressed with myself. But this first treatment I had of this one, they said it would be easier than last year's chemo, and the first one really, really kicked my butt. Just a lot of symptoms. Went in for my second treatment, and I was told I would get scanned after my second treatment, and if the scan is clean, I will be moving forward with a stem cell transplant, which I'll get into further here in a minute. And if this scan was not clean, I would do some more chemo. So again, I didn't have much of the lymphoma back. It was just in 2 spots. So I thought for sure the scan would have been clean after 2 treatments, you know. So I went in for my results. This was only three weeks ago. Went in for my results, and the scan was not clean. It actually showed more uptake in my neck and my cervix. But he said the neck looked viral to them, and our son was actually sick a couple days before that scan, which would make sense. And then my cervix had lit up, and they didn't think much of it. They said it's probably nothing. So I had to go get that checked out, and everything came back great for that. So we're just going to assume it was just nothing. And then the original cancer spots have drastically gone down, which is great. So I have chemo again on Tuesday, which is in 2 days from now. Today's Sunday. I'm going to try to get Scott to maybe record some of the, like what I go through there. If you guys would be interested in that, let me know. Just kind of see what the process is and what I go through. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. Just let us know. I have chemo on Tuesday, which will be my 4th treatment. And then I will get scanned in roughly 3 weeks from Tuesday or Wednesday. And then I'll get those results back. Fingers crossed it's clean this time. And then I will be going down to the UW of Madison, which is about 2.5 hours from where we live, and I will be starting a stem cell transplant. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically like getting a whole new immune system for your body. It's for blood cancers. So basically what they do is once I'm in remission, I will go down to Madison and they'll get an IV in one arm, an IV in the other arm, and they'll take out my blood and it'll spin around in a machine and all my little baby cells will be extracted out of the blood and then the other blood will come back in through my arm, the other arm. I'll have to give myself a shot at home in my stomach for, I think she said 3 or 4 days, twice a day in my stomach to boost my cell growth. Then we'll go down there, get my cells extracted, and then I'll have to go through some tests like heart tests and lung tests. I'll have to get a bone marrow biopsy just to make sure I'm healthy enough, which I don't see me not being healthy enough. Once everything's cleared out, I will go down to Madison and they want me to stay in a hotel room away from the hospital and ride a shuttle bus. But here in Wisconsin, it's flu season, so I'm not really looking forward to that because a cold or, of course, catching the flu while I'm in the process of doing transplant can be life-threatening. So we're thinking maybe Scott could stay with me for that week or maybe I'll just drive myself. I don't know. But basically I'll go down there, get chemo for 10 hours a day for 7 days straight. And it'll be pretty intense chemo. I'm going to get sick and everything this time. And then once I'm done with chemo, I'll get like a 2-day break and then I'll be admitted into the hospital. And then those cells that I was telling you about that get spun out and put in, I get my other blood back and they take out the baby cells. I'll get those baby cells back because the chemo will take my immune system down to 0. Then those baby cells I just get them in through my port and won't even know I'm getting them. It doesn't hurt. You don't feel it. Basically, I'll get those cells back and then wait for them to grow, which can take 10 to 14 days. So during those 10 to 14 days, I will have 0 immune system. So they say you can have visitors and everything, but I really think I told Scott, just drop me off and come pick me up when I'm ready to come home because I really don't want to risk getting sick. And so basically, I'll get those cells back and wait for immune system to come back, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be a lot, but we can get through it. And I guess the pay rate is pretty decent with this, especially for my stage. So, try not to think about that too much. You gotta do it. What do you do? So, we'll go down there and do that, and then I'll come back. And of course, I'm not in nursing school right now. I had to put that on hold for this year. So, next fall, I'm hoping I'm healed up enough and got my immune system back enough to start that. But in the meantime, that's basically what's happened. I've had 6 surgeries to date. I have 1 more coming up for my bone marrow biopsy. Like I said, I got chemo on Tuesday. Our son, he's 9. He's actually got a cold right now. So I'm hiding in his room right now making this video. He's out in the living room with Scott watching a movie. I don't want to get sick, but if I get sick right now, it'll be fine. But as we get closer to transplant time, I definitely don't want to. I had to go to the dentist. I had to get a letter from them saying everything's okay because when my immune system is low, you're at a really high risk for an infection. So everything there is good. I had 1 cavity filled. That was it. Scott made it sound like I got like dentures and stuff, saying all this dental work that I got. But everything's good. And I just want to hop on here and tell everybody thank you for all the support. I know it's kind of hard for Scott to make videos about it. We don't know what people want to hear, if we should share it, but we don't know what to do. So let me know if you want to see a video for Tuesday at the hospital, me getting chemo, if that interests you guys. And then I just wanted to tell Kenzie, if you're watching this, thank you very, very much. For those of you that know, he's doing a solitary cause for us to raise some money because Scott is going to be taking off some time at work here because I need a caretaker for quite a few weeks once I come home because I'm basically going to be bedridden for a while. And if you know me, after chemo's done, I still come home and I cook and I clean and I make dinner every single night for our son. I've kept up on chores. I've done everything through every single chemo I've been through. So it's kind of hard for me to be like being put on bed rest, but I know it has to happen. But basically just want to tell everybody thank you for the support. We do have bracelets for sale. Let's see if I can get, let's see here. So the bracelets say Valeries strong, and then it says the other site. Hold on one second. It says her fight is our fight. If anybody wants a bracelet, let me know. They're $5 shipped because it cost me like, that's where most of the money goes to, is into the shipping. But you guys can email me, or you can send it through PayPal if you want to buy a bracelet, or leave in the comments. I'll leave my information in the description below. I'll have Scott write that in for you guys. But we appreciate all the help and the donations and what Kenzie's doing for us. It is completely amazing. Thank you, Kenzie. And thank you, everybody else. I guess if anybody else wants more updates like this, let me know. It's my first video, so we'll see how it turns out. But again, thank you for the prayers and everything. And leave me a comment. Let me know that you guys are watching. Thank you.